and welcome to this Tuesday's Tarot Share. We're here at Serenity and Soul Event Center in the Town Mall of Westminster at 400 North Center Street in Westminster, Maryland. And we have a metaphysical shop here as well. We're going to have an in-person class after the live is over. And I wanted to let you know about some of the other events that we are having this week. We have on Thursday a Reiki share from 6 to 7 p.m. Pre-registration is required so that we know that you're coming, but it is free. And then we also have our very popular talk, Chapter 4 of the Traveler's Guide to the Unseen on Thursday, August 29th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And here is where you will learn about subtle energies in the scientific realm of things rather than just about energy work. We're actually going to learn about how energy, subtle energy, affects us. All right, so today's topic is going to be how to shuffle your deck and prepare it for giving readings. All right, so lay that tarot spread, and we're going to take you first from a new deck to your regular deck. So when you get a brand new deck, if you will notice, the paper on that deck is very thin and glossy. You don't want it to stay that way. So the first thing that you do is you remove your tarot deck from its wrapping and let it breathe. Then you want to handle it, and you want to get this thing not dirty, but just full of oil, right? So you have these naturally occurring oils on your hands. And what happens is, as you shuffle and use them, you wear off the edges. These all have edges that are starting to wear. The gold is wearing off. I've got little bends and cricks and everything. But the other thing is that they're a lot thicker than they were when I first started using them. And they certainly don't stick together the way that they used to. So this is one of my go-tos, one of my favorite decks. It's a Little Rider-Waite. And I carry it in a pouch that makes me happy when I look at it. And I got this pouch here at Serenity and Soul. So you want to remove your new deck from the plastic. You can keep it in the cardboard for a while, but I highly recommend getting something very personalized for it. As you get to sort of know the deck, you'll know exactly what kind of pouch it will want. Now this one I had to sort of fit it in and everything, but this is the one it wanted. So now you have this new deck, you've handled it, start reading with it right away. All right, use your book, whatever it is that you need to do. You may have gotten a deck that, you don't know what the author's interpretations of these traditional cards are. But the idea is to use them as often as you can. And if you want to also sleep with them, all right, slide them under your pillow. Allow your subconscious mind to sort of lay claim to these cards, because when you put your oils in them, that's what you're doing. You're saying, I am the dominant personality using these cards. What I want, how I view the cards, is what I want the template for the understandings of the readings coming through to emulate. So now we're going to talk about shuffling. All right, so everyone gets a little weird about shuffling, and you're going to have to decide for yourself what ritual you want or program you want to run for your subconscious mind as you read. And this is something that develops over time. You can start with, I started with this intensely ritualized, I shuffle it this many times, and then I cut it this many times, and then I put them together just so, and it finally got to the point where, it was something that I just sort of knew. Sometimes I shuffle my cards differently, depending on the gravity of the reading that I'm doing, as well as what the spread is. So it really all depends. Sometimes I cut the cards, sometimes I do a hard shuffle, sometimes I do a soft shuffle, sometimes I just fan them out and pick them, or sometimes I'll shuffle and wait for cards to fall out. The idea is to find your groove and to follow your intuition. So I'm going to show you what a hard shuffle looks like, and I'm going to tell you what I use it for. So the hard shuffle, well, I come from a family of casino dealers. So as a small child, I was taught how to do that. Now, not everybody's going to be able to do that, but I call that a hard shuffle because what it does is it flips the cards, sort of makes them, vibrate so that it shakes off any residual energies or thoughts because you're carrying them around with you everywhere you go, or you're sleeping and you had a dream and you want to just sort of say to the cards, hey, I need you to be completely clear of all other influences that may have occurred before you got pulled out and used. All right. Another way that you can do this, if you are not from a casino dealing family, you can just on each side, just like that. All right. And that is sort of like a ruffling. Other people like to do what I call the knock. So they'll sit there and they'll go, right? That's all. Hey, wake up. We got work to do. So the shuffling, the hard shuffling, is usually intended to clear and focus the cards. How you choose to do that is entirely up to you. It could be a soft shuffle, but the idea is that I use the hard shuffle, and if I need it in a pinch, the knock to clear and refocus the cards to sort of remove any existing programming such as a spread or loose thoughts. All right, so now let's talk about the soft shuffle. Now you can use the soft shuffle to reprogram them. It's just going to require a lot of intent and focus on your part if you do that, right? Because I'm telling you sort of the ways that the mind works. So if the soft shuffle works for you and has the same effect as a hard shuffle or a knock, great. All right, that's your way of doing it. There's no wrong or right way. I'm just telling you how the mind works. So the soft shuffle can be done if your hands are large enough and the cards are small enough, you can do it like this. All right, so I pick it up, I drop the top, pull away, drop the top, pull away, drop the top. So it's a 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's one, you don't even know how many times it's going to go, but mine are usually in threes. All right. And what this does is this creates a sort of meditative flow state, which is one of the learning states. You can do a 180 gaze on it. That means that you diffuse the way you do it and you sort of go inside, and then you start thinking about the spread that you want the cards to lay. All right, that's the important part because you're in a learning state, you're connected to your subconscious mind in flow. You are now telling the cards and your subconscious mind, hey, I want to do a Celtic cross, right? Because you're the person who's doing the reading. You're not asking a question. When you shuffle in these soft shuffle, what you're doing is you're telling the cards, okay, this is my game plan. I'm going to have the cards lay out this way and have these meanings, right? And you can actually sit there as you're shuffling and you can look at your diagram and go, okay, card 1, it means this. Card 2, it means this. And just keep going on down the line until it becomes second nature to you that you no longer have to look at it. You just know, like the placement of the cards is a diagram inside your body. All right. So soft shuffle is usually used to program the cards. Now you've just put your oils all over this and yours are the dominant oils in it. So what you're going to do next is you're going to decide whether or not you're going to allow your querent, your seeker, the person who came to you for a reading, to actually touch the cards. This is a very personal preference, and it could be the spirit of the cards tell you, I don't want to be touched by anybody else. You can hold hands with them. You can have them ask their question while you're shuffling. But whatever it is, you want to decide whether or not you want people to touch your cards. I have no problems with people touching my cards because I see them as the tool of bridging the gap between what I know and what the other person knows, because between the two of us, we could probably figure this mess out. So what I do is I hand the cards over to the person and I tell them, hey, I want you to soft shuffle them. And I'm very specific about how I want them to shuffle them because I need them to do it this way. Because I'm in a flow learning state, I need them to repeat the programming pattern to me of programming the cards. So I'll have them talk about their question while they do this. Now, if the cards are too large or your hands are too small, you turn them vertically and do the same thing from the top, 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 from the top. This one is also good if you want to just go, woo, and something falls out. You might pull the cards out as they sit, right? Whatever feels good to you. This is an intuitive sort of gameplay kind of approach to the subconscious mind. So the person is shuffling the cards. They're talking to you about their problem maybe, or they're thinking really hard, right? And then finally they're like, I can feel it. The cards are programmed with my question. Usually you'll be able to tell as well. And then they'll hand the cards back to you. Now, another thing you can have them do, all right? And this is just part of your bag of tricks, right? And I mean this in the way of tricking your mind into that flow state so that you are ready to read. All right. And you can say to them, I need you to cut it into 3, and then I want you to pick the pile that you know is the pile I should read from, right? Because each of these will have enough cards in it for a reading. And they might just set the one on top, and then you read right off the top. 1, 2, 3. Here we are. Here's our 3-card spread. All right, or you might be putting down a 4-card, or you could be putting down the whole Celtic cross. Whatever it is, whatever reading you programmed into it is the one that is going to manifest, even if the other person touches the cards. But that also is based on your preference. So shuffling is a very personal experience intended to put your mind and your querent's mind into a state of learning. All right, so this isn't about psychic ability or anything. What this is about is putting both people in a state of flow so that interesting things can happen. So when you're shuffling, you can do a whole lot of things. All right, you can have a full, blown 5-step ritual in how you shuffle the cards, where you include, not only am I programming this in here, but I'm calling on my ancestors so that we have a wonderful reading. I am praying to Source to make sure that only the answers that need to happen are happening here. And also, this is a part of something that I learned from Terry Pratchett's Discworld series. It's called Botho. And Botho is the way that the very, very witchy characters in his novels would prepare the people that they were in service to, would prepare them to receive old wisdom. All right. And it would be in such a way that it seemed absolutely ridiculous, but because it was done that way, the person receiving it was able to accept it like a placebo effect and allow it to work for them. Right? Now, of course, these witchy women did not tell their constituents, hey, I'm using Botho on you. But I'm telling you, because in this modern day and age, we all know that we've been manipulated by many, many things, including our lovely advertising system. So if you're aware of it, then you get to make an informed decision about whether or not you want to participate. And really, reading the cards for anybody is about buy-in, all right? This is meant to help you, but it has to be an informed decision. I don't read for children under the age of 18 for this very reason, because I do believe that the tarot is a very powerful subconscious tool that we can use to help ourselves, but we need to have full awareness and enough of a cognitive development to really use this well. So, that said, we are now at the point where you're in the reading and maybe someone says something disrespectful to you, or maybe they make fun of all of the process that you have to go through, right? This is where you have the opportunity to decide that you are prepared to deal with the disrespect and therefore address it. There are times when I have been in a situation like that where I'm like, nope. The more important thing is whatever message is coming through. So I am not accepting the disrespect, and I'm going to push through this. But then there are other times where the disrespect has come early enough in the reading that I go, you know what? This isn't going to be helpful for you. I am saying, nope, I'm not doing the reading. And, whatever arrangements we need to make, we shall make. So make sure that as you're doing your shuffling ritual, because that's what it is, you're preparing yourself for the reading, you're preparing your querent for the reading. Do the steps, and if anything feels off, if you don't feel comfortable and you're willing to deal with sending the other person away without a reading, then do so. All right? You don't want to create any kind of negative energy around your cards by not respecting your authentic self. So, that is today's tarot share, learning how to shuffle right before you lay the spread so that you know exactly why you're doing it, what its purpose is, and why it is so necessary. So we're here at Serenity and Soul at 400 North Center Street in Westminster, Maryland. And we have a metaphysical store with many tarot decks, and we also have a lot of interesting events, and September looks like it's going to be a whopper. So I hope you are all doing well in our heavy astrological weather. If you are feeling down or blue, realize that you're experiencing the collective, a sort of a response to all of the fun planetary conjunctions and squares that are going on, and that this too shall pass. Namaste.